take. You running off the road, so get out the way. Push the pedal to the floor, blow them all away. Yeah, you see I'm getting close, I accelerate. Going faster than fast, hit the gas, lose control. I won't crash, rolling high. Put your money on the dash, throw the dice, lose control. I won't crash, rolling low. I won't crash, bring you slow. I won't crash, rolling. Take. You running on the road, so get out the way. Push the pedal to the floor, blow them all away. Yeah, you see I'm getting close, I accelerate. Going faster than fast, hit the gas.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope you had a good time hanging out with Mr. Marcio for the past hour talking about, can we get a group selective baseball? However, the pickoff was probably a good time. Hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with Mr. Marcio for the past hour. Now you're stuck with us for the next hour. That is NZ. My name is Sweatpants Jesus. Welcome to the W right here on the Betting News Network, brought to you by our sponsors at BetOnline. You guys know the deal, chat. The WNBA playoffs are right around the corner. NFL is back. Get yourselves a nice deposit bonus with that QR code right at the top corner of the screen, and you get $10 dropped into your account too. I'm going to give you guys a prop today that you can only ladder on BetOnline. Only on BetOnline. So, and it's worth it. Trust me, when we get there. It's the only place that I could bet this ladder. And I'm going to tell you guys why you should go check it out at BetOnline today. So, brother, welcome back. Excited to talk some WNBA with you, man. We've got 2 days left of the regular season. Today, we have 5 games to get to. And then we have 5 games on Thursday, which is the last full day of the regular season. And we got the playoffs, baby. On Sunday, getting rocking and rolling. Last 2 days of the season should be interesting though. Like I said, we got 5 games to discuss with you guys tonight, and there are 2 of them that have very serious playoff implications. The other ones, not so much. There can be some movement necessarily, but we will talk about each individual one and what we are looking at. So appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys being in the chat. Look at this. We got Twansky having a great old time. Let's go. Crazy Pellet.
I haven't been to Chuck E. Cheese much. I don't know what that really references. Unless you're talking about the clown fucking Mo Salah with that stupid fucking hair. Maybe that's who you're referring to.
Today's my favorite activity, chat, because as Landon said, this is the OGs, me and NZ. NZ and I are the OGs of this channel. And my favorite activity is cheering up Grumpy NZ, which is my favorite thing I used to do all the time. Today, well, not all the time. I said every once in a while. Today, NZ's in a little bit of a grumpy mood. So, chat, we're going to cheer up NZ today. That's how it is. And Landon, yes, I'm at my mom's house right now. I'm taking care of her dog while she's out of town. So, new green screen for me. Do you miss the green screen days? I bet you do. Seeing like all the different random locations that I was in. It was pretty wild. Yeah.
If you turn the camera and show the blue wall, a lot of people, the OGs of this channel, will go, that's right.
The real OGs will remember that wall right there. They'll know right there. Alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and dive into it, brother. We've got 5 games, like I said, tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the standings as we've got 2 games left in the season. And we'll talk a little. I'm going to bring up the odds to win the WNBA championship as well, to see if anything is worth taking a stab at right now. And then we will talk about what we've got in front of us tonight. So this is the current standings as we sit right now. So the top 7, pretty set in stone. There are a couple things that could move around depending on what can happen in the next couple of days. We'll get to that in a second. But the most important thing to focus on, as you guys can see on the screen, the 8 seed. That is the only seed that is still up for grabs, and there are 3 teams vying for those spots. The Washington Mystics, which are the current number 8 seed, the Chicago Sky, and the Atlanta Dream. All of them have 13 wins and 25 losses. They're pretty much tied right now. I think the only tiebreaker is that the Mystics have won more games against these 2 other teams. So you don't have a spot on the screen right now if you want to say something.
Wait a minute. I need a spot on the screen. I need to have a conversation with my father right now. We are not having a Tuesday.
Okay, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Hang on, let him have his moment. Hang on a second. There he is. Go for it.
Where is he?
Where am I at?
Right there.
There he is.
I'm here to
Hello,
speak to
son.
my father and my father only. This man raised me to be the person in the smiley face that I am today. And we're not going a single Tuesday talking about the beautiful sport of the WNBA and how the season is coming to a close quite shortly, mind you.
Indeed.
We're not going to have
Indeed.
that beautiful mug above me have no smirky face. We're not going to have him down in the dumps. Whatever happened today, NZ, it's in the past, man. We're here to talk about the W. We're here to put some bucks in people's pockets. We're here to up some freaking units. And we're here to promote and show love to the beautiful sport of the WNBA that has just been booming all year long because of you guys and a little bit of myself sometimes when I'm on the show. But
Every once in a while.
every once in a while.
Fair enough.
But shut your lips, smile, and give some winners out. Goodbye. Love you guys. Hey, you look good today, SPJ.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Psycho.
Must be the light. NZ
Also,
Colby.
got new flip-flops.
I knew he wasn't done.
You never finished. Colby, this used to be my
Don't throw him
every
off the
couple of
balcony.
weeks. I'd have to cheer up NZ, so you did it for me today. So you got a smile on his face. Well done, sir. Well done.
Now go throw those flip flops off the balcony.
You weren't here for that. You can't make a joke.
The
Fair
face.
enough. Indeed. Indeed. All right, there he's gone. I was wondering. I was like, why is he at the bottom of the screen?
Me
What's going on?
too. I was like, what?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, back to what we were talking about. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. As I was saying, we've got 3 teams that are vying for that last spot. 2 of them play each other tonight. The Dream in the Sky, which we'll talk about that game in a minute. The Mystics are taking on the Liberty, the number 1 seed right now. They are the current 8 seed right as we sit at this second. We'll kind of talk about this a little bit more. The only thing that can truly change is the Lynx still have an opportunity to leapfrog the Liberty. If the Lynx win their last 2 games and the Liberty lose their last 2 games, then maybe that number 1 seed is still up for grabs. But like we're going to talk about, I think the Lynx do because they've won more head-to-head games.
Okay.
The Lynx still can technically be the number 1 seed. Everything else, from what I can tell, is pretty set in stone. I mean, you've got the Fever, or I don't think the Fever are going to... Well, I guess the Mercury could catch the Fever, being only a game and a half back, but I don't think the Fever are going to lose.
They have a game in hand.
They have a game in hand, exactly. So I think that's pretty much set. So that, that Sun Fever matchup could be pretty interesting as well in the first round of the playoffs when we get there. Reminder, chat: this playoffs start on Sunday. The last game of the regular season, like I said, is Thursday, and then everything will be set in stone going into the weekend. We're gonna have a piece done by our buddy Devin on Friday about the entire WNBA playoffs, the layout, the formatting, and all the matchups to kind of look at. So be sure to look out for that at bettingnews.com. Since Landon brought it up, and I did make a graphic for it, these are the current championship odds. Your Liberty sitting at the top, plus 145. The Aces, even though they're that 5 seeds, plus 250. The Lynx, plus 275. The Sun, plus 800. And then it starts to get spicy. The Fever, plus 1600. The Storm, plus 2500. Mercury, plus 4000. Dream, Mystic, Sky, all are lotto pieces, pretty much. Of all of these right now, before we dive into tonight, and I think you already have beans on a couple of these teams, but which one kind of sticks out to you the most for the value?
Right now, it's the Lynx. They stick out the most. And honestly, it's hard to turn down the Aces at plus 250. They opened at minus odds, if I'm not mistaken, to win it all
probably
this year. So it's hard to look past that. I do think the Liberty do win it all. I mean, I'm half biased, but also half of just looking at the way they've played this year. But and I'll get more into the Lynx and their game tonight, but plus 275 is pretty good value. Sorry to my Sun out there, but the Sun are cooked, lack of better words. I think the Fever have a better chance of winning than the Connecticut Sun, in my own opinion. So,
well, on that note, as Landon said in the chat, I mean, plus 1600 for the Fever, worth the dust. I mean, they've been playing great basketball. It's Caitlin Clark. If they get hot throughout the playoffs, win that. Maybe if they win the first round, whatever ends up being their first round matchup, if they win that matchup, look out, because they can, get a little bit of momentum and then see you later. So
this is true. But that you can't count them out with what they've evolved into. So you definitely can't count them out. I mean, more of not necessarily the lotto end, but the only other team that really catches my eye that I feel like could be sneaky is the Storm at plus 2,500. That's the
Mhm.
only other one. I mean, they brought in so many players. They've played really well. They've kind of slipped a little bit in the second half there. They've moved down the rankings a little bit, but they're still in just a decent spot where they're at right now. They're going to end up in the 4th or 5th seed regardless of what happens tonight. We'll get into that next.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the last three, they ain't winning anything. If anything, they're just going to be happy to be there, play the Liberty round one. So
Yeah.
maybe they win a game. Maybe they're going to open as double-digit spread underdogs in every game, I would imagine. So
Yeah. There's a lot of, I don't know. We'll get into this too. I won't go too far into it. But yeah, there's one team out of these three that stick out as the possible leader to me, but also based on the way the schedule breaks down. So,
mhm. Well, speaking of the Liberty taking on one of these teams, let's get into tonight. First game on the docket is the Liberty taking on the Mystics. The Mystics are currently, as you guys just saw, the number 8 seed. 10-point favorites are the Liberty. It is in Washington today, so 10-point underdogs are the Washington Mystics at home. The over-under is set at 161.5. I mean, like you said, and you said this before we got started, which you can maybe talk about this a little bit more. A lot of these games are very trappy. A lot of these teams, as you guys just saw on the standings laid out on the screen, that they don't really have much to play for right now, except just having some momentum going into the playoffs. The only teams that really do have beans in this hunt right now are this Mystics team and then the Dream and the Sky, which we'll get to that game in a second. But any thoughts on this game? Do you like any bets in this one, a side or a total or even a prop?
I mean, when I look at that 10-point spread, it makes me lean the Mystics to cover. I think the Liberty win this game. Mystics have come out of nowhere playing decent basketball, and they've actually won games that nobody expected them to win. Do I think they win this game? I don't think they win this game, which is what's going to unfortunately possibly bury them because they play Caitlin Clark next on Thursday, and that'll be the last game of their season. I like the Liberty to win, but I think the Mystics cover. I think you have a prop in this game.
I do. I love this prop very much, and I wish I would have posted it. I said it in Spaces earlier today. The value was there. It's gone now, unfortunately. But if you guys tapped into our Spaces at 12:30 Eastern, and you heard me talk about it earlier today. Also, what's up, Austin? Can't wait to hear about your news tomorrow. Thanks for being here. The W parlay, Rowdy, will probably be 3 legs, maybe 2, because neither one of us have a lot of plays tonight. But we'll see what happens. When Enzi and I get rolling, sometimes you never know.
True.
My favorite play. It's a prop in this game. She's on the screen right in front of you guys. It's Brittany Sykes. Over 3.5 rebounds is the line I got on her. I got minus 120 earlier today. Unfortunately, this line has been nerfed. It is minus 155 now, so it's very juiced. I did text you to take this with me earlier today. I don't know if you did or not, but it has gone up a lot. I love this play. She kind of flirts with that 3 number. She's obviously a guard for the Mystics. I would say she's the Mystics' best player overall. She averages, she's had 3+ in 3 of her last 5 games. The other 2 games she went well over with 4 and 8 rebounds in those games. But this is also how she does against the Liberty. In her game against the Liberty earlier this season on the 14th of May, she had 10 rebounds in that game. 10. Game before that, last season, she had 12, and then she hit her line in the 3 games prior to that at the end of last season as well. Last point on this, the Liberty, while they are a very good rebounding team, allow the second most rebounds to the guard position. This is desperation mode for this team. They're going to do anything and everything they can to win this game. There's probably going to be obviously there's going to be a bunch of missed shots. We're only asking for 4 rebounds for a starter who's going to play 30+ minutes in a game that really matters. I really love this line. If you guys can find it anywhere for a playable number, like I said, everywhere I'm seeing is like minus 150 now. I like it as a parlay piece. If you'd like to pair it with something else that we are going to talk about on the show, I got minus 120 earlier today. And this is the one that I was saying at the beginning of the show that if you'd like to ladder this, ladder it. Take it to 10 at BetOnline. You can get 10+ for plus 3,200. Like I said, she has great success on the glass against the Liberty. You can't take it any higher than 6 anywhere else. So I fully endorse taking her regular line at 3.5. You can ladder it up to 6, 10, 8, however you want to. I did all of those things for a dust as well. So give me Sykes. I lean also with you. I think the Mystics have a good chance of covering this game purely because they have way more to play for than the Liberty do. And it's at home. You know what I mean?
I mean, the Liberty get a big enough lead, they're going to start sitting players at this rate. Now is when they'll start sitting people, which gives people like Skies a better chance to continue because they're not going to sit. They're not going to sit their players unless they go down 30 points. I don't see the Mystics sitting their starters at all this game, but I guess it could happen with the way the Liberty are known to play. But I think the Mystics stay in this game.
I agree. I think this stays relatively close for most of it, and I mean, even the Liberty might sit players at the fourth quarter anyway. Because they don't really need this game.
Win. It's really a must-win for the Mystics because they have the tiebreaker, and one of the other two teams is going to lose. So one team is getting eliminated right off the bat tonight. They get this win. They already hold the tiebreaker. They go into next week, but they have to play the Fever. But all three of those teams on the bottom end of the standings have very tough matchups next week. So this week is really the decider, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Shout out to you tuning in from X. Appreciate you stopping in. We've only talked about one play so far, so you haven't missed anything. So just stick around. We will bring them up on the screen for you as we talk about them. So just hang out. If you're watching us and you can't hear us, they'll come on the screen. We promise. First one right there. Sykes. 3.5 rebounds. Ping pong. Okay. Let's talk about the other game that has the biggest implications tonight. You just kind of touched on it for a second. Sky, take it on the Dream. In Atlanta, 9-point spread towards the Dream.
Dude, I fucking can't. I mean, when I wrote about this game, it was a 6-point spread. I mean,
it's crazy.
It is crazy. The thing is, though, is ever since the second half of the season, the Sky have just fallen off the face of the earth. And that was before Angel Reese got hurt. She then got hurt, and it's just become even worse. They've won, I think, one game, if not two, in their last 10 games. Atlanta, in my opinion, Atlanta has the best chance here. Atlanta, they win this game, Sky will be eliminated. If the Mystics lose, that puts them now in the advantage spot where they'd have to lose next week, and the Mystics would have to beat the Fever for it to be tied up again, and the Mystics would then take the tiebreaker. I really think if the Dream win this game tonight, they're gonna take the 8th seed and sneak into the playoffs. It's a shame to see what happened with Chicago. Unfortunately, they were fun to watch. They were really, at one point, they were right in the thick of things, and then they just fell off really, really badly. But I do like one prop in this game. Actually, I just want to get the line proper before I say it. And it's Ryan Howard over 19.5 points -102. If the Dream are going to win this game, she needs to shoot well, and she needs to lead this team as pretty much the leader of this team. I mean, she was the number one pick 2 years ago. She's a great player, but she's been shooting like absolute garbage, as well as Alicia Gray. Excuse me. If these two, one of the two of them, but I expect Ryan to really come up and shoot the ball. I expect her to get her points, and Tina Charles double has been something of beauty, but it's probably
it's so juiced now, dude. It's like -200.
Yeah, but for them to win this game, she's another one that's going to have to step up and play the way she's been playing. But if they do those things, I think this is an easy game for them to win. I think it puts them in the best position to take that 8th seed because Caitlin Clark and the Fever next week are not going to be easy on the Mystics. But on the flip side, Atlanta's got to play New York, so they got to get the job done this week because next week they have their work cut out for them. Vice versa, if the Sky somehow come out and pull out a win, they have to play Connecticut next week, so they have a tough one in front of them as well. So right now, this week is almost like the deciding factor of that 8th seed, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I also have a play in this game. It's on the Dream side of things. I mean, you got a great number. I'm assuming you took the Dream -6 when you wrote about this game last night. I didn't peep your scribbles, but yeah. I would have loved them at 9, at 6. At 9, I still like them, but obviously a lot of people agree with you. I don't know if I want to lay the 9 points, though, in a game that matters really to both teams. I like a prop, though. I took this prop earlier today. It's a little bit juiced now, but it's -125, so it's still a playable number for you guys. It's on the Dream side of things. Give me Jordan Canada. Over 16.5 points and assists. Obviously, she's one of the best facilitators on this team, so I like her assists as well, but it's way too juiced to take as an individual line. So I'm roping in the points. Over 16.5. She just had 14 points and 5 assists in her last game against the Mystics, which was a game that they obviously also needed to win, which they did do in overtime. But her last game against the Sky this season, she had 11 points, 7 assists in that game. She's also hit this line in 4 of her last 5 games against the Sky as well. Not a huge, like she's not a big time scorer. She definitely can score, but she's not a big time scorer. She's got Tina Charles. She's got Ryan Howard. She's got, Alicia Gray on this team. She's just going to be dishing, but she's going to get hers too. I like her points as well. Just, to get, I think her points line is 11.5. So, but I like the combo of them both. I like the 16.5 PA. I think that she could get this pretty with ease if this Dream team plays well, especially at home. So love the 16.5 points and assists minus 115. You can take the points by itself if you don't want to. The assist, like I said, is a good parlay piece. It is 5.5 minus 148. She's hit that in her last 2 games against the Sky as well. So, yeah, man, good stuff all around for this one. Should be a good game. I don't know why the line's moved as much as it has. It's a little sketchy, but I think with this number in front of us right here, I kind of lean with the Sky now to cover the 9.
+9, yeah. I could see. I like the under in this game. Because you got 2 teams who just don't shoot well. I mean,
yeah,
they just don't shoot well. I hate to say it,
yeah.
but 154 points, what is that? A little over 75 each if we're looking at it that way.
Yep.
I could see this being both teams putting up under 70, to be honest with you.
Well, you've got the baked in factor too that they both need to win. So this is going to be a playoff style game. Every basket means that much more, a little bit more defensive prowess, all those, generic basketball terms, because this game matters. They need to win. So should be a good one though. I'm looking forward to kind of switching between this one and the Mystics game because I want to see if my ladder cashes. All right. Anything else on this one you want to mention, or should we keep it moving?
No, I think that's it for that one. That one's definitely the biggest one of the night there.
Absolutely. From an implication perspective, maybe not necessarily for good basketball viewing, but from what matters most in the playoffs. Just as a reminder to you guys before we move on to the next game, it is September, which means it's September. You guys get a discount on your subs if you guys like the channel, if you've been following along for a while, or if this is your first time watching us right here on Twitch, feel free to sub. It only costs you a couple bucks. You get a discount as well this month. It gives us a lot of help to the channel. We're also like 11 followers away from 2,000 followers. So if you're not following us as well on the channel, give us a follow as well. We really appreciate it. Content will always be free. But it really helps us out on the channel. So if you're watching us on Twitch, give us a sub. We really appreciate it. We'll play the song for you if you do. So give us the old sub-a-rooney. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go to the next game of the night, which is the other one that is, this is probably the best matchup of the night from just 2 teams that are really good playing basketball against each other. The Lynx taking on the Connecticut Sun. Now this line, which NZ will talk about it in just a second. This line has gone here, there, and everywhere. When I made this graphic about an hour ago before the show started, it was a pick'em. Sun and the Lynx were pretty much even money either way, minus 115 to minus 105, as you can see right there. There was no spread option that was listed at BetOnline at that particular time. It's basically a one or 2 point spread depending on your book. I think it's actually minus 1.5 now or something like that. Yeah. The over-under is 153.5, another lower total. 2 defensive teams that definitely have their, bring their defensive, they bring the defense, things to the gym every time they play. But what's your thoughts on this game, man? I didn't like this one that much because neither one of these teams really need to win. It's just kind of a good maybe tune-up for the playoffs start to play against a good competition to kind of get you rolling. But at the end of the day, like this game means nothing to either one of these teams.
Correct. I agree to that. Both of them are in positions where they have to win both of their next games, and the person right above them has to lose both of their games, which is kind of difficult to work its way up. They're both sitting in the second and third spot, so they're both very good teams. Excuse me. But when I see the Lynx at plus 1.5, at plus 106, the Lynx at plus money against the Connecticut team who has been so spotty. They've been so spotty statistically with their players. Alyssa Thomas has not been what she was last year, in my opinion. I like the Lynx a lot. When I saw the line, it really kind of shocked me a little bit. But again, I don't see them playing, second stringers for both teams here. I think we see a close game. I kind of lean with you, SPJ, in the sense that I think that they're going to be playing regardless of the fact that they are not playing for a seed. This is a warm-up. This is going to bring them right into the playoffs. The playoffs are only a few days away, so for them to start sitting players may not be in their best what's the word I'm looking for?
Interest.
Thank you. So I like them a lot tonight, especially at plus money. You're going to give me the Lynx at plus money against a spotty team. I'm taking it, even on the road.
Yeah, this Sun team really, I mean, we talked about it at kind of the middle of the season, and I know Colby was pretty adamant of taking them to, maybe make a run and win the playoffs or win the championship, and took good odds on them. And then they just, the last month, they've kind of fallen apart a little bit. They do not look the same team. As you said, Alyssa Thomas has looked all over the place. I don't know if this team has what it takes to make a deep playoff run.
I mean, both teams are good where they are, meaning the Lynx are a good road team, the Sun are a good home team. I mean, Minnesota's 9-1 in their last 10, and they're on a 6-game winning streak, which raises like kind of some red flags. Are they going to win outright 8 games to end the season? I don't know about that. Could this team potentially beat them? Absolutely. That's why the line is so close. It's just hard for me to turn down Minnesota at plus money.
Yeah, absolutely. I did actually find a prop in this game that I like a lot. Because I loved betting Alyssa Thomas earlier in the season, and then I really hopped off that wagon because she's been a completely different player this year. But I'm going with somebody else. I'm going with Dejanay Carrington. I'm taking her 16.5 points and rebounds. You can take her points if you want. Kind of similar conversation as the Jordan Canada play. 16.5 points and rebounds. This game again didn't love it. This is my third favorite of the 3 props that I have. This is the one I have the least confidence in. They all are a unit, so I have the same financial investment on all of them, but this is the one that I don't know how this game is going to play out as much as I feel confident with the other 2. However, Carrington, the last time she played against the Lynx, which was on the 4th of July, she had 17 points and 6 boards in that game. She's more of a guard. She's kind of like a flex guard, like a guard forward, depending on the lineups that the Sun play. But I would consider her more of a guard, but she's a great rebounding guard. I was going to just take her points outright, and then I looked at kind of what she's been doing on the glass, especially over the past 10 games. She's hit this PR line in 3 of her last 4. I think she's in a good zone. She has hit it as well in the last game, like I said, against the Lynx with 17 and 6. I feel like this is a good spot for somebody that's not necessarily a star on this team to come out and play some solid minutes and grab some boards and score.
You want to know what she is? She's consistent, and that's the key.
Yeah.
Especially with that team. She's been one of the most consistent players to count on, whether it's for 10, 15 points, boards, like you're saying. She's been very consistent. And you're correct. And even though she was the one who called out that Caitlin Clark would lead the league in assists this year.
Yeah. Yep. She's a hooper. She knows ball. She also is a great dresser. Her last picture before the game, she knew what she was doing. Last point on this too. The Lynx, even though the Lynx are a very good defensive team, they are not great in the rebounding department. Similar to what I said with the Liberty, the Lynx actually are the 3rd worst rebounding team in the entire WNBA. I think there's going to be a lot of boards to go around. As you guys can see on the screen, it's a low total, over 153.5. That's very low. It's lower than that the Sky Dream one. Both these teams definitely force a lot of bricks, and I think the Carrington can definitely grab some rebounds as well. If you want to take her rebounding line straight, you can. It's 4.5. It's minus 130. It's a little more juiced, but I think she's going to score too. Like you said, she's a good, consistent scorer. I think she'll probably, she should play 25 to 30 minutes, and I like the lower 16.5 combo of this 16.5 points and rebounds. So, yeah, I thought I wasn't going to have anything in this game, and then I found that Carrington line, and I was like, I need to take this. I got to do something with her in this matchup. Yeah,
just a point.
I like that.
That I know that they rank in the bottom half of the league for rebounding, but Minnesota is 2nd in field goal percentage and 1st in 3-point percentage. So when they shoot the rock, it's only coming back to them half the amount of times that they put it out there close. You know what I'm saying? Closely.
Right.
Where meanwhile, some of these other teams, including the Sun, don't shoot very well. So just something to think about. But I think Carrington has a night tonight. They need her to. She has to.
100%. Well, her points line's 11.5. I really like that. If you want to ladder that would be my ladder. Like her 15 plus. Let me just have a gander at that. 15 plus 200. She scored 17 points last time these two teams played. Nothing to say she can't. Yeah, 100%. I mean, she played 33 minutes the last time they played. She took 13 shots. I don't know if anybody was out in that game on the 4th of July, but yeah, I mean,
I think anybody that's been injured on that team.
I don't think so.
You know what though? Mabry wasn't a part of the team then.
That could add into
That's
it. But if
the only
anything,
difference.
Mabry helps, I think, open up even more opportunities for her to score because Mabry can also pass the ball.
She shoots a lot lately. She's been putting up some points herself.
Mabry?
I was surprised to see. Yeah, she put up, I think, 15 this game. Her point line's been floating around 13, 14, give or take. The tip-off for this game is 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern.
Yep, 7 Eastern. This is one of the first ones. This one in the this one in the Mystics Liberty game are the first two to go off tonight. And Grealish's Cavs, us too, baby. That's why we're here. Love to see it. Mabry's, this is an interesting one. Her PA is 16 and a half, NZ. Her points line is 13 and a half. And she has hit that in 3 straight with 18, 19, and 26 points. She did not play against the Lynx when they played last game, like she so rightly said, on the 4th of July. So a little bit of a different lineup there. So Mabry might be a good look too in this game from the Sun perspective. So
I like Carrington better.
Same. All right, let's keep it going. 2 more games left on the slate. 2 late games now. Those are the 3 6 o'clock games. I think this one's 6:30. So the Sky and the Dream, that tips off 6:30. The first 2 we just talked about are 6 o'clock, and then there are 2 later games, more the West Coast games. Let's go to which one do we do next? Nope, that's the wrong one. Let's do this one. Aces, Storm. Storm 8.5 point underdogs at home against the Aces. Neither one of these teams really have anything to play for either. Again, it's kind of just it's like a tune-up. It's a tune-up to get ready to play each other in the playoffs. So maybe they do go hard just to kind of see what each other's got, kind of testing it out before the playoffs start. Over-under is 163.5. What do you think about this one?
Joelle Lloyd is out, and so is Ezzy Magbagar. She's also out for this game, which I think is why that spread is as big as it is.
Makes sense.
It's still 8 yet. It hasn't moved. I don't know. I really have no feelings on this game, to be completely honest with you. Like I was saying,
Same.
We're looking at the 4th and 5th seed here. Even if they flip spots, Seattle has a better chance, I think, of winning. Oh, this is actually Las Vegas's last game. Is that correct?
I don't think they play on Thursday.
No, I'm wrong. They both have layups next on Thursday. The Vegas is going to play Dallas. Seattle's going to play Phoenix. I see them both landing in where they're at right now. It makes me kind of just want to stay away from the game. Seattle missing people. Does Sky Diggs take on some of it? Does Ogamike take a little bit of it? Yeah, I'm sure they probably do. But there's been plenty of games where Joelle's been in playing and she hasn't done a goddamn thing. So I kind of want to stay away from this game. I lean the Aces to win with those 2 players out because they're 2 starters, big part of the team. But yeah, this game didn't really do much for me. Mike the Mush hit me up today and he's like Aces -7. I was like, I was like, the other games have more implications to them. I was like, you got the Lynx at plus money. I was like, this game, you got injuries. I was like, meh.
The only thing that I could get behind in this game, because I agree, from a side or a total perspective, miss me with any of that. The only thing that I could maybe get behind in this game, and this is purely narrative based, is the fact that Asia needs to have, I'd say, she needs to finish the end of the season with as much strength as she's had played the rest of the season. I think if she has, I don't think she's going to take a game off. She knows that the MVP is pretty much hers, but I think she's playing to break records. She's playing to, I don't think so. If anything, I would take her points possibly. Let me just have a look and see what it is. It's 27.5. It's plus money, which is always kind of sketchy, but actually I'm seeing 26.5 right now, -110. Purely because I just think that she wants to go into the playoffs with everything rolling. She's been, we know she's fully capable of scoring 30 on any given night. She just became not the highest score, most points in a regular season.
Most points in a regular season game. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So that's done. But I mean, she's going to want to add to that, obviously, and put to bed the conversations of anybody else possibly winning the MVP.
I don't know, man. Your girl actually poses a very, very good threat to her because, like, I saw a post today on Twitter that I meant to send to you, and I wish I could find it, and maybe I can, where it was Caitlin Clark's accomplishments this year. Bro, the thread was like a CVS receipt for the number one day. For she set this record, she broke this record, she set this record. I mean, not for nothing, she very well should be in that conversation. If anybody could take her, I don't think you're going to find the line anywhere, but if you can find her for MVP, throw $5 on it because it's probably like plus 20,000 or something like that because there is a chance that she wins it. But Wilson's very aware of everything. She knew that she was very close to breaking that record. I'm with you though that I think that they want to coast their way into the playoffs. This is a good game for them to kind of beat down on them if they are outmatched, which I think they're going to be a little outmatched. She's definitely. I don't know if she puts up 30, but she'll definitely get 12 boards. I think.
Caitlin Clark conversation is one of those deals where this is how you justify what the MVP is as an award. Because there's so many voters, or there's so many people that even people that watch the WNBA a lot, that have just kind of already predetermined that A'ja Wilson's going to win it because she's the overall best player in the league, right? And so to change the narrative, you'd have to do something astronomically insane, which I think Caitlin Clark has. I think based upon, I talked with this with Sook and V about this on Hall Sauce Team last season a lot, because MVP awards to me are about, if you take that player out of the team, what is the team? Whereas I think the Aces, yes, A'ja Wilson is amazing, and she's one of the I would say still the best player in the WNBA. But if you take her off that team, yeah, they're not going to be as good, but I think they still are a playoff team because of the other talent that they have on that team. If you take Caitlin Clark off of the Fever, we saw what that looked like last year. They were terrible. They were the number 1 overall pick. So from a perspective of which player means more, which to me is what the MVP is, I think Caitlin Clark means more to the Fever than A'ja Wilson means to the Aces right now.
I agree. No, I agree. I'm trying to find this tweet, but I know I'm never going to be able to find it in the abyss black hole of Twitter. But yeah, it's impossible. I'll never find it. But I mean, she's the first. She ranks first in points, assists, and threes for all time for rookies. She had a 35-point game. Cheryl Swoop's career high was a 34-point game. She already outdid her. She's got the most 3-pointers this season. She's got the most assists this season by plenty. Most career 25-point, 10-assist games. She has 5. She did that in 39 games. Took Sabrina 141 games to do that, to also have 5. And that's just to name a few. This isn't even the post that I had found earlier. She definitely very well makes a very strong bid for MVP. I know they're not going to give it to her, but she definitely makes a very strong case. Very, very strong case.
And I mean, this is the whole point too. The fact that we're even talking about it is a huge accomplishment in itself. Especially, dude, imagine if she started playing like this from the get-go. It took her like 15 or 20 games to get going.
It did. They blasted them with a friggin' heavy front schedule because they wanted her out there. And they went like, I don't know, 2-8 their first 10. Yeah, they had a rough outing. And then all of a sudden, the media started blasting about how well she was passing, and nobody was helping her out. And then all of a sudden she just started dropping dimes like her pockets were empty.
Great facilitators in basketball, great facilitators in any sport take time to get used to playing with. In soccer, in basketball, in hockey, it takes time for those types of quarterbacks throwing to receivers, like anybody that is their responsibility to distribute the ball or the puck or whatever you're playing with. It takes time to build that chemistry because if you guys in chat as well, if people listening in, if you've played sports, you know the feeling when you just know where somebody else is going to be when you're playing with them. Like you just have played with them long enough, kind of their tendencies, and then you start playing and you don't really have to plan it out. You just kind of have a feel where that person's going to be. That takes time. And like Caitlin Clark didn't have that with these guys ladies to start the season. But as you said, as they started building that chemistry, that momentum, they started realizing, oh, if I make this cut or if I'm in this spot, she's going to get me the ball. Whereas like before they may have done that and they were kind of just like, I'm going to get here. But like they weren't expecting the passes and they were like, fuck. And then they dropped them. Whereas as you get used to people going, oh, if I can make this cut, I'm getting the pass. That's when all the wheels started to kind of churn. So getting back to this game specifically, all of that we just talked about, Asia Wilson knows that in her head.
Mm-hmm.
Like she knows, she's not stupid. And as you said, she knows what's at stake. She obviously knew she was going to be the highest point scorer, et cetera, et cetera. But I think she's going to come out and want to ball out tonight to make sure that, say, hey, Caitlin's there, but, this is my award. And I think that there's a couple more chances for her to do that.
There is, I don't know. The more I was looking at it, I was saying to myself, I was like, the case for an MVP is really starting to get awfully strong.
I agree. Absolutely. Yeah. Enzi knows that one.
Send him to fucking Jupiter.
Yeah. All the way. All right. Let's swing and talk about the last game of the night, which this game really means jack shit. Nothing.
It's a great game to bet on.
Sure.
Because Landon said it before. And if Mercury don't cover 3 fucking points, that is pathetic. It just shows their downfall of the season, because this should be a nuke piece. The line shouldn't be that close.
Why is it? That's my question.
Well, hold on. I was reading through. They released a ton of injuries yesterday. Here we go. That was how I saw Ezzy was out. Joel's Cardoso is participating. McCown is out because she was suspended, so she is going to miss the rest of the season. Aerial Powers, no, nothing. I'm not sure why. There's not one person on either one of those teams. The only thing I can think of is the Sparks have been somewhat playing a little bit better as of late. I know they're losing games, but they're still playing a little better. I'm surprised that spread isn't
6.5.
Yeah, 7 exactly. That's exactly where I was falling. The Sparks got nobody. I mean, they got Rakia Jackson. Dearica Hamby had a great start to the beginning of the year, and then she just completely disappeared. The Mercury, unfortunately, are having a horrible second half of the season since coming back from the Olympic break, and have slipped all the way to the 7th seed. They were up, I think, as far as the 4th seed. But they need to stay in. They need to stay sharp. This is a good game for them to stay sharp, to win, to remember what it's like to win, and to continue to play well. I mean, they're going to play Seattle in their last game of the season. That's going to be a tough one for them. Getting a win under their belt now would be huge.
And as Rusty said, last home game of the season. Rusty brought this up in the spaces earlier today. And I kind of like this. I don't know if I'm going to bet it, just because, again, I've already got units out there, and I don't know if I want to spray this sus WNBA board. I kind of like Rakia Jackson's points. It's 17.5. It's plus money. She had 22 points against the Mercury when they played on the 7th of July earlier in the season. She's coming off 2 games in a row where she scored 20 plus. She scored 20 plus in 3 of her last 5 as well. It's her last, she's in earlier in spaces as well. Ghost made a good point too, which I was looking up a little bit more info about this after we got out of there, that, they're pushing her to kind of be a part of the first WNBA rookie team. She's not going to be the rookie of the year. That's set and forget. We already talked about her for the last 10 minutes, but she's got a good opportunity to make the push to be in that first rookie team situation. Right. And I mean, that matters, when we talked about this team too, they're going to probably get the overall number 1 pick. Paige Beckers is probably going to be coming and playing in Los Angeles, and they got a nice core with, Hamby, with Rakia, with, Odyssey Sims, if she stays around, when Brink comes back.
Do you know that she played, I think, 4 games this season, maybe 5 games this season? She still is the 3rd leader in blocks for the entire league, and she hasn't played at all. Yeah. That's how many blocks
she had. 10 games or something like that?
I don't even think she played that many before she tore her ACL. That
just
goes to show. Hopefully they bring stocks to next year, because that'll be something for us to bet on left and right.
I hope so.
They could be, they have the potential to be very, very good next year. Don't know who their coach is. I'll be honest. I'm not too familiar with the coaches of this league, except for, I don't know. I'm blanking on her name. That's the coach of the Aces. That was a former player, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm also blanking on her name, which is not good. I can see her face.
Yeah, me too.
She always
But
looks pissed. Yeah.
that's all right.
Someone
We
in
won't
chat.
waste my time on that. But
Yeah.
yeah, and that's not counting off-season moves. Last off-season and the year
Mhm.
before that, there was a lot of moves made. It's going to take a crafty kind of player that sees what the potential is to kind of go there, or maybe like a second tier kind of player. They're not signing, a Brianna Stewart or an Asia Wilson type player, but they could, they can attract a role player or two plus the little core that they got. Becky Hammond, thank you.
Becky Hammond, yeah.
Yes, Becky Hammond. They, like we've been talking about, they could have a year next year. So it's a shame
If
that
they
they had
got
a shit year, but
if they got a really good 3-and-D player, like a really good shooter and somebody who can play some solid defense, that would, I think, fit nicely into what they have. Because Jackson, obviously, Rakia can score. Odyssey Sims fits nicely in this team. I don't know if she's going to come back next year or not. They got Brink and Hamby down low, so they got down low sorted out. Paige Beckers obviously is a great facilitator and a really good ball handler as well. If they got somebody that can, knock them down from deep, that would be a nice a nice little piece to fit in there as well. So, yeah,
they just lost that piece, and it was Nika Agumike, who could play defense, who could shoot the ball, and she jumped ship in the offseason and went to Seattle.
Well, it worked out well for her.
Yeah,
but we'll see. From a betting perspective, though, tonight this line stinks, like stinks.
it does.
I feel like the side is right. You're correct. The Mercury is probably the move.
Line just moved to 3.5.
3.5 now? That makes more sense. If it starts climbing back up the other direction, then yeah, I would say that makes more sense. All right. Those are the 5 games for tonight. That is what we have for you guys as well. We kind of talked through each individual game. Now let's cook a parlay, NZ. Let's look at what we want to do for the W lay. I'll just kind of recap what we talked about in each game. I have Brittany Sykes over 3.5 rebounds, Jordan Canada over 16.5 points and assists, and then I have Dejanay Carrington over 16.5 points and rebounds. NZ like the Lynx +1 or money line, depending on how you want to play that on that particular line, and then Ryan Howard over 19.5 points. Those are the kind of plays that we all have talked about for individual plays. Now let's see what we want to do for a little parlay. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking let's make something that's actually going to smack.
I agree with that. Let's do that.
Let's go with Sykes and let's go with Howard to start.
Okay. You want to do Sykes rebounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, they keep moving the odds on Howard's line. He's still 19.5, but now it's plus money. I'm not complaining. I just find it odd.
I mean, I like Canada too. You want to take that route instead. Or we could do Howard and Howard points, Canada assists, if you want to do it that way.
Torn now. Canada has good points numbers against these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like an issue.
I mean, her PA, like I said, was just from the fact that she can obviously facilitate was my favorite, and we could put that in here, but I don't want to run away from Howard. Why don't we do Canada's PA and Howard's threes? We could do 3 threes for Howard.
Yeah, she's been shooting like shit though. She is due to bounce back against the Chicago team. I mean, she didn't get 3 this year against them. It looks like this is going to be an interesting game because they played them back in June, and this is a completely different team, meaning the Sky, especially if Cardoso doesn't play. Now I'm stuck.
Let's not force it. We don't have to pick. We don't have to take anything specifically from this one. I mean, I feel like we should do something in this one though, because this game matters so much. Yeah. Something's going to happen.
No, we definitely have to.
Alicia Gray 2 threes is -120. He's obviously very boom or bust, but
she's been killing me lately.
Yeah, makes sense.
No, let's stay away from threes actually, because apparently Chicago defends the 3 awfully well.
Okay.
Which surprises me. Um, shit. All right, let's go with Canada, PA. It gives us two options there. I mean, she could dish 10 dimes if she has a good game right off the bat, but she has been scoring.
Yeah, 16 and a half. Nice and easy. Do you want to do something in the Sun Lynx game?
The question is who? Do you want? I know you like Harrington.
I do. I'm down to
Which
take
I'm
Mabry as well.
Not against that at all.
You could take that. We could also just take Dejanay Carrington for 10 points. It's minus 196. I mean, her PR was my favorite, like, overall line, just from the possibility of her grabbing some boards. We could also just take her rebounds over 4.5.
I like Brianna Jones. She's been really fire the past 5 games.
Her rebounds or her points?
Both. Either or, rather. She's hit her points in her last 7 straight games. She's hit her rebounds in her last 4 games. She's hit her PR in the last 6 games.
What's the PR? Let me look.
21 and a half, which I don't hate. I kind of lean with the points. It's just 15. I mean, she's cleared at least 17 in the last 7 games, rather. She had a good game against Minnesota at the beginning of the year, and then they had one back, like you said, on July 4th, and she didn't really play very well.
I'm down. I don't know a lot about this player. I don't know a lot about her, so I don't have any major thoughts. But Austin said the rebounds in the chat. If you like it and you're looking at the stats a little more than I am, I'm into it. Whichever one you think, points or rebounds.
She's like an Aaliyah Boston, if that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Let's do Carrington 10 points, and then let's do Jones. I like Jones for 15 points over the rebounds.
Okay.
The rebounds kind of scare me. Although
means we're taking two Sun scorers, and you've got Lynx on them.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
That's true.
It really doesn't mean anything. 6 boards isn't bad. She's hit that in 6 out of 7. She's had 6.
Let's do that. Let's do Carrington 10 points and then Jones 6 rebounds. Both of those are a little juiced, but I mean it's a parlay, so
I somehow have. Oh, that's right. There's a boost. I forgot about that.
Okay, so Jones 6 rebounds, Carrington 10 points, Sykes 4 rebounds, Canada 16 and a half PA. Those 4 legs is, you know what, dude? Let's just take Jones for her line. 6.5.
You want to take her for the line?
I mean, it's 6 plus is minus 200.
What's Carrington's point line? Is it like 11 and a half or something?
11 and a half.
Should we just take her points too?
Yeah, let's just take them both at their lines. We're paying like over 100 cents a juice for like either a bucket or a rebound.
Right.
I'm willing to gamble on that.
No, I agree. I'm not against it. Do we put a 5th leg in here?
Let me just look at the odds.
Somewhere around 900.
What did I delete? Plus 920.
Do we
does
add?
The job?
What do we leave it?
I mean, plus 920 does the job for me.
Oh yeah, no, it does. It does. I was just
down?
looking at the. I was looking at the Aces versus the Storm. I was honestly just looking at Asia.
Points, rebounds, PR.
Rebounds.
What, 12, 11 and a half?
Yeah, she just had 20 against them back in July, but the games prior she didn't hit, and those were this year as well. She has good history against them. she's hit the 12 mark in 4 of her last 6, but only 2 out of her last 4. Or 5 out of
Over
her last
11.
7.
Over 11 and a half is minus 140.
It's not too bad.
Yeah. If we added that gets it to plus 1649.
Do you want to add that, or do you think we should leave it alone?
I mean, I said that if I wanted to do anything in that game, it was Asia. So I'm down. I think she comes out in balls, and it's Asia.
Do you want her points?
No, the rebounds is fine.
Okay.
Because if she does have those random games where she either just doesn't shoot as well, or she just she's going to grab rebounds, especially if NECA and Ezzy's not playing. There's going to be a lot of rebounds to go around.
That's a valid point. I forgot about her being out. Ezzy, that's huge.
Yep. Yeah, let's do that. 1649. Jones, 7 rebounds. Carrington, 12 points. Jordan Canada over 16.5 points and assists. Brittany Sykes, 4 rebounds. And then Asia Wilson over 12 rebounds. Plus, it's actually plus 1604 now. It moved.
There we go.
Happy?
Yeah. Job doers. Canada needs to play well. Wilson should have no problem coming out and fucking being the beast that she is, because it is technically a game with implications, kind of. Sykes, 4 boards. Come on now. And then we got the Sun players. I don't hate either one of those. I like it.
No. All right. Let's leave it. Chad, I'll read it off one more time. And then we will post it before these games get started. Although these games start in the next 30 minutes, so I'll have to post it pretty quickly when we get out of here. But here we go. Brianna Jones over 7 rebounds and Dejanay Carrington over 12 points. That is all from the Lynx and the Sun game. And then Brittany Sykes, 4 rebounds from the Mystics game. Jordan Canada over 16.5 points and assists. And then Asia Wilson for 12 rebounds for plus 1604. If you take Asia out, if you just want to stick with the early slate of games, it's still plus 900. So that does the job too. But we wanted to get a little spicy. So there you go. That is the W lay. Rowdy, that is what you can rock and roll with if you want. Put $1 on it, put $10 on it, put a unit on it, put $20 on it. However you bet. Have fun with us tonight.
Just do it responsibly.
Absolutely. Always bet responsibly. I had a free bet that I put on it. So we will post it, like I said, on our Betting News Twitter account. Be sure to give us a follow there if you're not already. If you want to write it out with us, feel free to do so right over there. All right, chat. Thanks so much for stopping by today. This has been the W. That is NZ. My name is Sweatpan Jesus. We appreciate you guys for hanging out with us to talk all about the WNBA today. Only a couple more days of the regular season, but then we're going to have a fun time talking all about the dub throughout the entire playoffs. Then, big announcement. Tomorrow, we have another double dip for you guys tomorrow. Wednesdays is not usually a double dip day, but tomorrow we have the boys on Up Your Units. Directly following that, we will have the return of Puckett. NZ and myself will be back with Mr. Gretzky Betsky's talking all about the NHL tomorrow. We're going to talk about some offseason moves, some of the teams we're looking forward to betting on this year, a couple of, just to kind of get the vibes moving. It's not going to be a full show because there's not really any hockey to bet on yet, but we are going to start talking NHL. And then next week, starting next Tuesday at this particular time slot, Puckett will be back. So every Tuesday, we'll be talking ice on Tuesdays at 5:30 Eastern. The W will kind of float around. We will pick the best days that make the most sense during the playoff schedule. So just kind of pay attention to when we're posting about when everything will be rocking and rolling for the WNBA moving forward. So that's what we got tomorrow. Another double dip for you guys. You'll be back stuck with us tomorrow. And the boys, like I said, will be live at their normal time at 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 Central for Up Your Units with Shaggy and Colby. All right, brother. Appreciate you, as always. Thanks so much for the time. Let's get it. Go check out bettingnews.com for all your sports betting information every single day. Big thank you to our sponsors at BetOnline. Go get involved with BetOnline with that QR code at the top corner of the screen. We appreciate you guys stopping by today. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. Catch you guys in Spaces tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern right here on X. And we will see you guys right here back on the channel tomorrow night. Talking hockey, baby. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes. Have a spectacular rest of your Tuesday. And like I said, we will see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody. Have a good one. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep. Now I know. What you know about